Look at the wall next to you, most of it is sand, glued together. The floor under you, also sand. Your window is sand somebody melted. And the world is running out of the kind that works. Not sand, there is more sand than you could ever use. The right sand. A country buried in desert that has to import it. Islands that were sold, shipped away and rubbed off the map. People have been shot over this. So here's the strange part. Pour desert sand into concrete, and the building you're in cracks apart. The grains are the wrong shape. That is the whole answer. Wind. Wind picks a grain up, drops it, picks it up again 100 million times. Every landing knocks a corner off. Give it long enough, and every grain in the biggest desert on Earth is a tiny polished ball. Now pour a bucket of marbles into a box and stand on it. They roll, they slide, they go everywhere. Water does the opposite. A river carries a grain in a cushion of water, so it lands soft and keeps its corners. Pour a bucket of broken tile into that same box and stand on it. Nothing moves, the edges have bitten into each other. That is concrete. Cement is not the strength, cement is the glue. On its own it is brittle and it cracks. The strength is millions of sharp grains jammed against millions of other sharp grains, refusing to slide. Round grains never jam. They roll past each other under the load and the wall comes down. So the biggest piles of sand on Earth are useless to you. There are countries sitting on the largest sand sea on the planet, building towers out of it. They buy their construction sand in by the shipload, some of it from Australia. Sand imported to the desert. 10,000 kilometers of ocean because the sand outside the window would not hold a building up. So everybody goes for the same stuff, rivers, coasts, the seabed. And here's the number nobody says out loud. Every year, the world digs up about 50 billion tons of sand and gravel. That is a wall 9 stories high and 9 stories thick, wrapped the whole way around the Earth. Every year, after water, it is the most extracted material on the planet. More than oil, more than coal. Spread it over everybody alive, and it is more than your own body weight every week. And the rivers cannot keep up. The sand a river drags down to the sea is what builds its delta and feeds its beaches. And the UN puts that at 10 to 16 billion tons a year worldwide. In most of the rivers anyone has bothered to measure, more sand is coming out than is coming down. You are not taking the interest, you are eating the riverbed. Take sand out of a riverbed and the river does not politely refill the hole. The water speeds up, bites into the banks, and the banks fall in. Bridges you drive over lose the ground their feet stand on. The water table drops and the wells go dry. Salt water walks inland into the fields and the crops that fed the village stop growing. Then it gets worse. Picture a man standing on a wooden boat in a brown river before sunrise. He fills his lungs, goes over the side, and feels along the bottom in the dark with a bucket. 20 seconds down, up again, 200 times before lunch. He is paid by the bucket and he is one of thousands. Where there is that much money in mud, there are people guarding it. In India, the people who track this have been counting bodies. 23 villagers, 11 officials, 5 journalists. Killed over sand. One of them wrote online that he thought he would be shot. He was days later. And whole islands have gone. For decades, one small rich country bought sand by the boatload to grow itself a bigger country. It is now about a quarter larger than it used to be. The sand came from its neighbors' islands. 24 of them are just gone. One of them went under in 2003 and left a few palm trees sticking out of the sea. An island, sold by the ton. In Morocco, about half the sand taken every year is stolen straight off the beaches. Hotels built out of the view you came for. Some of those beaches are bare rock now, and you can still book a room facing them. Now here's the part you will not see coming. Some sand cannot be replaced by anything. Look at your window again. Glass is sand that has been melted. Melt ordinary sand and you get green bottle glass because of the iron in it. Now look at your phone. The chip inside it starts as silicon so pure the dirt is a handful of atoms in every billion. To grow that silicon, you melt it in a bowl, and the bowl has to be purer than the silicon. Otherwise, the bowl leaks its own atoms into the chip and ruins it. Those bowls are made of quartz from one small town in North Carolina. Not mostly, almost all of it. 70 to 90% of the world's high-purity quartz comes out of a couple of pits in one valley. A hurricane shut that town down for weeks, and every chip factory on Earth, including whoever made yours, held its breath. Every phone on Earth hanging off one hillside. So do we run out? Honestly, no, not globally, and not the way the headlines say it. You can make sand, crush rock, screen it, and the fragments come out sharp exactly the shape you wanted. In some places, that manufactured sand already undercuts the river stuff by a third, and it is graded better too. Plenty of geologists think the world running physically dry is unlikely, and they are probably right. But sand is heavy and cheap, and hauling it is most of the price. So it is never a world shortage. It is a shortage right here this year near your city. And when the legal pit is 100 kilometers too far away, somebody goes to the river at night instead. Look at the wall next to you again. Every grain in it has corners, and it got them by being tumbled down a river for 1,000 years. You are sitting inside a riverbed. Somebody's riverbed,